Why the Nigerian army are still struggling to catch Bello Tuji? Bello Tuji brother now has become worse than Bello Tuji. He gathered his men, went into Zamfara village, one village in Zamfara state, adopted 20 persons. We know that when you hear certain numbers, it might be more.
Just when we thought the dust was beginning to settle, just when we started to hope that the new year would bring a breath of fresh air to the people of Zamfara state, another storm has gathered, and it is darker and more terrifying than before. We are not just talking about random bandits anymore. We are talking about a dynasty of terror. The headline you saw is not a mistake, and it is certainly not a rumor. It is the cold, hard reality that the people of Dausai village are facing right now. Terrorists, led by notorious kingpin Jambros, Bello Tuji's brother, abduct 20 in Zamfara community. We are bringing you this heartbreaking and urgent update today because the situation in the northwest has taken a new and dangerous turn. For a long time, the name Bello Tuji was the only one that sent shivers down the spines of residents. But now, it seems the family business of chaos has expanded. A new warlord, known locally as Yellow Jambros, has stepped out of the shadows and is proven to be just as ruthless, just as daring, and just as dangerous as the name he is associated with. Let me take you to the scene of the crime. It was Tuesday, January 28, 2026. The time was about 4 p.m. In many parts of Nigeria, 4 p.m. is when the sun is starting to cool down, when children are playing outside, and when farmers are thinking about wrapping up the day's work. It is supposed to be a time of winding down, but for the people of Dausai village in Zamfara state, 4 p.m. became the hour of doom. According to security sources and reports reaching us, the peace of the afternoon was shattered by the roar of motorcycles. If you live in Zamfara, you know that sound. It is the sound of nightmares. Terrorists, locally dubbed as bandits, stormed the village in large numbers. They didn't come in the middle of the night like thieves. They came in broad daylight like conquerors. They were led by this notorious figure, Yellow Jambros. The reports confirm that at least 20 innocent residents, fathers, mothers, perhaps even children, were rounded up and marched into the bush. Imagine the confusion. Imagine the fear. One moment you are in your house, and the next you are being forced at gunpoint to walk into the unknown forest. The community has been thrown into total panic. Families are counting their loved ones, hoping against hope that they are just hiding in the farm and not in the hands of Jambros. The police have confirmed this incident. The DPO of the Dansadao division is not sleeping on this. We hear that he, along with joint security forces, have been mobilized to the area. They are currently combing the forests, trying to track down these kidnappers before they disappear deeper into their dens. The police are urging everyone to remain vigilant and to provide any information, no matter how small, that could help. But before we continue with this developing story, I want to ask you a question that has been bothering me, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Do you think the rise of these new kingpins like Jambros is a sign that the bandit groups are fracturing, or is it a sign that they are becoming more organized like a crime family? Let me know your thoughts. And if you are appreciating this update and want to stay informed about the security situation in our country, please do me a huge favor and click that like button right now. It helps YouTube show this video to more Nigerians who need to know what is happening. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please join the family by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. We need to stand together and stay informed. Now, welcome back. We cannot talk about this abduction in Dausai without looking at the bloody context of the last few days. This attack by Jambros did not happen in a vacuum. It happened just days after a devastating ambush that shook the military and the police to their core. Just last week, we received a painful report regarding our gallant officers. It was a Monday. Personnel from the 1PMF Kaduna attached to Operation Fansanyama in Gusau were traveling. They were on a pass, moving from Bingi, Kotakoshi to Gusau. They were likely thinking about seeing their families or taking a brief rest from the war front, but they never made it. At a place called Gidangoni village, they were ambushed. The bandits opened fire on their vehicle. In that tragic encounter, we lost Inspector Aliyo Ibrahim and 5 other military personnel. 6 uniformed men, individuals who signed up to protect you and I, paid the supreme price. They were shot dead in cold blood. Others sustained injuries and were rushed to the Yeriman Bakura Specialist Hospital in Gusau. This is the reality of the terrain our security forces are dealing with. They are fighting an enemy that knows the land, an enemy that fights without without rules, and an enemy that is now seemingly led by a new generation of warlords like Yellow Jambros. When you hear that a brother or a close associate of a major kingpin is leading operations, it sends a signal. It tells us that when one leader goes quiet, another rises. It tells us that the recruitment drive for these terror groups is still active. The abduction of these 20 people in Dausai is a direct challenge to the authority of the state. It is Jambros telling the government, I am here and I can take your people whenever I want. It is a slap in the face of the peace efforts. The residents of Zamfara are tired. They are exhausted. They have seen too many sunsets turn into nightmares. The question now is, what happens to the 20 victims? The police say efforts are ongoing to rescue them. We pray that these efforts yield results. We pray that the joint security forces can catch up with Jambros and his gang before they cross into the deeper, more inaccessible parts of the forest. But prayers must be backed by action. We need intelligence. The police have asked residents to provide actionable information. This is crucial because these bandits don't live in the sky. They move through communities. They buy food, they buy fuel. Someone sees them. As we watch this situation unfold, we must also remember the sacrifices of Inspector Ibrahim and the 5 soldiers who fell last week. Their deaths should not be in vain. It should serve as a wake-up call that the enemy is bold and relentless. The emergence of Yellow Jambros is a new chapter in this book of tragedy, but it is a chapter we hope the military can close very quickly. We will keep our eyes on Zamfara. We will keep tracking the rescue mission for the Dausai 20, and we will keep asking the hard questions. Who is supplying Jambros? How does a group move 20 people without being intercepted? Please keep the families of the abducted in your prayers tonight, and keep the families of our fallen heroes in your thoughts.